everybody. See, I told you I'd come back. So, this is a new channel. I uploaded or live streamed the intro video. I had a little bit of technical difficulties, but I saved it because you could hear me the whole time. Had a little bit of, face art going. Still hear my voice, so I thought I'd leave that video up as an intro, video number 1, and keep it moving. This is video number 2. To let you guys in on just a little bit, if you read some of the titling or description in the channel, I did mention my intent to share some, it says demonic, abusive childhood. And I've said those words quite intentionally. And it's not that I haven't given years of thought to, how and when I would share what happened to me. And that's not what this channel is all about. Remember, it's Marcy talks about it, just about everything. But still as an introduction, a little bit beyond the intro video, so that you guys get a better idea of why am I passionate about this? What's my point? What makes me so unique from some other channel or subject or way of expressing? Well, you tell me. But from my perspective, it's the unique and or very adverse, very arduous, very difficult, very horrifying experiences that I myself have experienced in life, starting out as a baby, toddler, and about 1.5 years old. So that's where, other than my own innate, my born personality, that, I've learned is my personality. A part of my life experience mixed with my personality, what has made that is surviving as a toddler, the adversity that I survived. And what has given me that strength to survive other things in life and do things that I've done, do what I do what I must, and but try to do the best that I can, good things, and do for others and have empathy. So when I said I have a big heart and empathy for the homeless, or caring about all people, and being very neutral minded, it's because I had a lot of time as a child to think about how awful I was being treated, to wonder if the person who was my legal guardian was either related to the devil or the devil incarnate. Was that person the devil or the devil incarnate? Probably not, but I'm not saying it to be funny or to be smart or rude or to be hurtful. Or you guys are probably thinking, okay, and if your family sees this, and this is my experience. I wrote a 600-page book about it a long time ago and left it somewhere, and it got misplaced. That's a shame. And then I started writing it again, and life has just been in the way. So I was going to tell this story if I live to tell it. I'm not about to tell the whole story right now. Okay. It does show 10 years of childhood slavery and horror. And this happened living with a legal guardian from being a toddler. That you have no idea. So what I did is I wrote down, because I'm not about to sit here for hours on end on this particular video number 2 and tell you guys the whole story. We're not going there. But I did write down a couple of pointers to give you guys a little bit of background on it. So you get a little bit of better idea of who I am and why I am in ways, the way that I am. But kind of so you can feel me. I'll go a little deep. So if you can't handle deep, if you're not deep, I need to keep it moving. Because when I said that I'm bold and courageous, I meant that. I meant it. So here we go. Okay, so try to go in chronological order, even though, again, you're not going to get the whole story right now. This is not a movie. And you're not going to get every, bottom line, you're going to get the whole story. You're going to get a whole lot of incidents. So what I did is I kind of wrote down in a chronological way, going back a few incidents, so you guys can be like, really? So you kind of get it. And I'm going to keep giving you the incidents until either you get most of the story or you're like, oh my gosh, as I talk about other things. Okay. Marcy talks about it, just about everything. And it won't just be this. Again, this is introducing and giving you guys a little bit of background. And why not? You need the backstory before we start talking about it, all kind of stuff, as if y'all not hearing enough. Breaking news times 100 billion pieces. No hurry to get to that. Oh, and might I say, my definite condolences to everyone and anyone who has been lost to the current health situation the world is in. That's super serious. And I'm talking about the losses. And also everyone who has been ill, mildly ill, medium, moderately ill, severely ill, and survived. Praise the Lord that you're a survivor. I know what being a survivor is all about. I'm about to tell you what's going on with world health. Who's lost someone to anything? And even a pet, and then of course we've got the weather issues everywhere, and damage and loss, and I don't know, it's chaotic, it's sad. And when you hear me say my heart, when you hear me say empathy, it's for that kind of stuff. And I don't care what race the person is or the family is or culture. It's still a heart-wrenching issue for me. Wishing that I can do, I'm praying for everyone. Wishing I was a person of great resources or means so that I could do, hands on, send, give, do, direct traffic or whatever. I can pray without ceasing. I'm not that person with the resources and the authority to send and move and direct. And I wish I was, because I've got the heart for that. Unfortunately, there are people with resources and authority and all of that, and they're doing what they can. And then there's people that have resources and all that doing zero and have no heart for that. That's just so unfortunate. I wish I were. If God were to give me that, I don't just give lip service. I would just be just ooh. Okay, we're gonna get to that. But back to the subject at hand. I just wanted to give credit and condolences. And it's like, if you're not sawing some trees and helping shelter somebody and find people and get people warm and encourage people to fight, to survive, and of course rebuild and get, and eat just basic human. If you're not doing that, then you're not doing anything. So if you're not doing that and you can, if you're not doing that and you can't, and it's just a helpless feeling, don't be hopeless for them or yourself. And if you are a praying person, a faithful person, a spiritual person, a prayer warrior, all of these different words, give them that, because that is a gift, and prayer changes things. So if you can't give anything else, and of course, I know GoFundMe's and all this stuff is all over the place. You've got governance, and then you've got private people, with those types of things. And get in there where you can fit in. But again, if you can't fit in anywhere and you just feel helpless and you think this is awful and I want to help, if you are a praying person, then pray for them. Because as things get better for those that it gets better for, it could just be because somebody they have no clue who it is prayed for them, including me. And that goes for anything, any issue of life, any and every issue for life. Even if you're doing good, you're doing great, you have lots of resources, might want to pray about that so you can keep it. So you can keep doing good and not fall, not lose what you have. Here today, gone tomorrow. Gotta be careful. Little cue card, that's what this is, which is really a 3x5 card. It has some other stuff written on it. I don't even know what it is. Probably something about a bill or something. Yes, I am a regular person. Did you not get that by now? You will if you hadn't. So my poor mother died young. I'm not going to be too specific for my own privacy, hers, and, any family member that feels like I'm trying to slight or whatever, because it's past the time about how somebody else feels about what happened to me. This is about what happened to me. It's not about what happened to somebody else. It's not about what somebody else thinks about it or feels about it. I'm grown, very much so. So I'm going to tell it and tell it like it is, okay? Because it's not happy stuff, and I don't want this happening to nobody else. I'm talking. So here we go. Die young. Of a preventable disease. From being used. By people I'm sure she loved. Person and persons I'm sure she loved. Trusted. As a child, as a teenager, as a very young woman. Poor, for the most part. Who wasn't? That's, that wasn't poor. Let's put it like that. Especially many descendants of slaves, African Americans. Who wasn't? Few that, got a business, made their way, whether it was up north or wherever. Y'all Google it. Plenty of stories out there. Whether it was about the Great Migration or slaves and or their descendants in the South and so forth and so on. Look it up. As a matter of fact, I have another channel that I'll link to this one. And you don't really have to look it up, but you can go to the sources because I've done a lot of the research. Oh yeah. But we're talking about this channel. Um, yeah, just used from the questions I asked about her. Sweet, wonderful person, good student in school, big heart, must have got it honest, and super nice person. Would give the shirt off her back. That's what I've always been told. What I just said is what I've always been told about her. I don't remember her. I've never been able to say mom something because I was approximately 1.5 when she died. So I don't even know if I could talk at that time. Um, so I remember her voice and all of that. She didn't like taking pictures. There's only a few. They're dark. You can hardly see. Finally found one, and it's a very nice one. And I finally got to see a face that I don't really think I look that much alike. So it wasn't the greatest identity moment facially, but it was something. It's a long time ago. But it's unfortunate that her life was cut short because she was used to um, make money in ways that a young teen shouldn't have to make money and subsequently get pregnant and things that go with that that can cause illness. And if you think I'm trying to be careful with my words, it's only because I don't feel like going slap off on somebody who thinks that I am trying to belittle or downrate my loving, beloved mother who just because I didn't know her. Because I could come right on out with it. And some things that happen directly to me, I'm going to. But again, that's it that happened directly to me. That boldness will be there. So she died. So all of you out there who have lost a parent or two or a parent figure, you're an orphan, whether it's you feel orphanized as a teenager or a young adult or even a middle-aged adult, and you're like, oh, I lost my parent or two or grandmother or aunt, favorite aunt or whatever, and I miss them. I'm My condolences, and I especially with what's going on now, but I mean just in the past or recent past, I'm sorry. And I'm very empathetic because I've gone a lifetime without mine, and it's awful. And these big cheeks and this smile has nothing to do with, I'm just a goofball. And this is the public. So I'm not going to sit here unless I start crying. I'm not going to sit here and frown the whole time about something that happened, 100 years ago. And no, I'm not 100 years old. Obviously, I'm just saying it was a long time ago. I was a baby. And it's awful. And I can't do anything about it. Can't turn back the clock. Can't pour spilt milk on the carpet back into a glass. So, to kind of wrap this second video up with this not so great news, I've never been able to say mama. And I had to kind of practice it because it sounds strange to me to say mom or mama. Really, not so much as mom because I have kids that call me mom, and I'm like, I'm your mom. I'm their mom. So mom is not that hard. I'm your mother, or it's Mother Day. Oh, thanks for Happy Mother's Day. But for to say mama, mama, I have to kind of practice it a little bit because I've never been able to say it. Never. Um, and unfortunately, my grandmother died before I was born. No, no, granny or grandmother. See how I've I didn't get to say it. So if you have or have had a mama or grandmother, and I know a lot of people call them nanas and all of that, I've never been able to say that ever. So moving right along, because I'll just do short videos to just kind of keep them going because I know people. I've watched long videos, but for some reason, the ones that are shorter, people tend to, okay, that one's kind of short. Let me watch it real quick. As if you can't pause the video. Huh. Anywho, so let's see what else I have on here. As if I don't know the horror story. I'm just trying to make sure you get the main point. So why don't I just read this real quick? I'm being real basic. I mean, really, this is not the the daily morning news or whatever. This is me. Okay, so what I wrote was prostituted, comma, disease. I don't have to be super specific. I've already explained it. I'm just going to try to make this go faster. And then I'll expound on it as we go. Okay? Other videos. Oh, it gets so dark. Really? But this happened to me. So, mother dead before 30. There's a rushed adoption to get me by an older relative. Be careful about if something happens to you, trusting your relatives, even if you're close to them, to think that they're going to do right by if you have children, take care of your kids properly, or godparents or best friends. And I'm not saying anything wrong with godparents or best friends or relatives. I'm just saying, better do background checks. You better check them out and check them twice, like Santa Claus or something, because I got done so wrong that if my mom had known any of that was going to happen to me, I know from everything I've been told about what kind of person she was in her heart, there's no way she would have left a 1.5-year old, a toddler, to suffer what I suffered. She wouldn't have. She didn't know. But I'm telling you all, get your business in order in general, but especially if you have kids, as to who might end up with them in your family, immediate family. Like I said, best friends, friends, I don't know, first cousins, aunts, uncles, siblings, um, grandparents. Even if you have a very close relationship with those people, that's your relationship with them. That doesn't mean they're going to have a close relationship with your baby or your toddler or your little elementary schooler or whatever. Because, for one, if they hadn't been around them constantly, they don't have a relationship with them. So if something happens to you, they have to choose to build that with your child. I'm not talking about showing up at the christening and this and that and the baby showers and all. No, I'm talking about day to day. They have to build that when you're gone and you cannot protect them. And what if they choose not to build that? What if they choose to get real nasty and ugly? What you gonna do? You gone. Think about it. Trying to help here. I'm not bitter about it or anything like that. I just don't want this to happen to anybody else. Um, so a rushed adoption by an older family member to get me for promised money. The majority of that money did not pan out. So I would imagine that person was very angry. Or let's just say very angry because it was like taking your anger out on a child. Just saying. So my slavery, and when I say slavery, like actual slavery back in the day, back in the way day, hundreds of years ago, that slavery, I lived that. I lived that kind of slavery. All I was missing was the clothes, the ragged clothes. That's what I was missing. That's it. That's it in modern times. Mm-hmm. And with all the racism stuff, and racism is a problem. It sure is. With blacks and all that. Not just because I have these Black Lives Matter dollar earrings I got from the beauty shop. Okay, let's not go there. And I just got one, so I'm trying to be kind of cool. I got the other earring, kind of trying to be hip a little bit. Whatever. Racism is a problem. And other forms of discrimination is a problem. But I'm talking about that all slavery, like you look it up and they'll be like, whoa, cotton picking, singing songs and stuff, go down, Moses, all that. Honey, all I was missing was the cotton. And you see my description, whatever, about from 69 to 79, 10 years. The cotton and them raggedy clothes. Move that to one side, and I had the rest of it. I know you don't believe me. Bet you I can make you believe me. I have no reason to lie. God hates liars. I was a slave in modern America in one of my family members' homes. A black person. So racism towards blacks, yes, that's a problem. Discrimination towards anybody, even whites or poor whites, yes, that's a problem. Slavery from a family member that's black to a black child in modern America, that's not only a problem, but that's a problem that I haven't heard anybody talking about. So here I go. So it won't happen to nobody else. Because I was a slave, a child slave. It was horrible. And then finishing this little part up. So I said, so my slavery and the horror began at approximately 1.5 years old. I was never hugged, ever. And I'm a hugger. See, they those stats. Like if a person was abused, they're abused. They don't love it. Oh, please. I must be the exception to the rule. I'm one of a million. One in a million. I'm kind of special, so I think. Never hugged. Never kissed. Like on the cheek, church, whatever, kiss, forehead. Matter of fact, wasn't touched. And it's like, look at you. Forget, throw all that out the window. Nope. Got adopted now. No hug, no as a kid, no hug, no kiss, none of that. Wasn't shown love. That would be a 0. Nor the words said to me. I love you. I love you, little boo. Boo boo and nickname. Throw that out the window. Throw it out the window, please. I had a nickname, but it wasn't an endearing nickname that was given to me by the guardian. No. Matter of fact, I had to say Mrs. So and so. This was a very close relative. I couldn't. Okay, you know when you write at the bottom of a 3x5 card and you can't read your own right, you know that's sad. You're rushing. Oh Lord. Oh, I I wrote that I was a mannerable child, very mannerable, respectful, was trained properly to respect people, blah blah blah. Many kids back in the day were, but I was still beat, dead blasted to death. Switches, um, big cow leather belts. What's the other thing? Extension cords. Some of y'all having some memories. The extension cord. Y'all were like, what's an extension cord? Some of y'all know what a dad blasted extension cord was. I'm not beat to the brink of death. Like slaves. Back in the slave time. For real. I got scars to prove it. Anyway, let me move on before I get pissed off or start crying one. What's that say? Oh, yeah, talking about that getting beat. Gotta tell y'all this one real quick. It's 32 minutes. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna say this one, stop this one at 35, and then I was gonna go into and I got beat right after I had surgery, and how I ran away when I was in kindergarten. For real. So it's 32 minutes. Let me just hurry up and about the water pitcher. You know what? Since those are all about getting beat real bad, let me just move them to um, video 3. Unless this is will be like video 2B, something like that. Because before it's going to be 33 minutes, and by the time I get to saying it, boom, will be. And I don't want it to be a long, so I'll short this. I'll end this stream. I can give stats to a president. I can speak to anyone about anything in a proper manner. And after talking to somebody, I can talk to somebody out on the streets. Okay? Don't get that confused about me. But I'm very down home. That's why I'm in the room. It's just, I'm not trying to impress you guys. I'm trying to help and help encourage. There's not enough people doing that. And I know it. I see it every day. Loopity loop. Okay? So we're going to end this and we're going to come right back. I'm going to say grab a bite and get it right. But I don't want nobody saying I'm copying nobody. I don't have to copy nobody. I'm so full of uniqueness. I got enough to last 18,000 lifetimes. All right? Okay? Subscribe. Hit the bell. Appreciate you if you do. I got more. Trust and believe that. Oh, it's going to get deep.